Hey everyone, this is Spartan Tyrant 1 coming to you with part 2, and hopefully there won't be a part 3, hopefully I can get through this quick enough, of my Tau Empire Strategy Guide for the Warhammer 40k tabletop game, 5th edition. Now, I'm just going to get quickly on to one last fast attack choice and the heavy support. Now, where we left off, we were talking about our enemies, Carnifexes, Greater Demons, let's say Land Raiders, Terminators, the Dreadnoughts, the nitty-gritty of your opponent's armies, heavy support, elite, vehicle units. Now, what your immediate response to that will be is your railguns. There we go. Your railguns. Now, you can get these in two varieties. You can get the broadside railguns, broadside being probably my favorite unit in the Tau army. This gives you a twin-linked Strength 10 AP 1 weapon, which will annihilate any vehicle, provided that you're lucky enough to roll like a 4+ at most, or any special character that happens to be wandering around, and you just snipe them with your railgun. The only setback with the broadsides is that they are not particularly mobile, so if you're using a mobile Tau force, they will be left behind and eventually probably clobbered to death with some sort of blunt object. The bonus, on the flip side of that, however, they do have a 6+ save, and you can also give them shield drones, which gives them basically additional wounds and a +4 invulnerable save. And if you're taking broadsides, I suggest that you take that. But if it's a mobile Tau army, I would avoid the broadsides, although I personally take as many railguns as I can get, and broadsides being my favorite unit, I take them whenever I can. However, the real meat of the railgun variety comes from your hammerheads. Now, your hammerhead can give you, has two flavors, so to speak, of railguns. You have the normal Strength 10 AP 1 raping monster of a gun, and that's good, like I said, for taking out any vehicles or wandering special units, or like a Terminator. If you want, just take out one, boom, take them out. But it also comes with the large template Strength 6 AP 4 variety, which is great for taking out light and medium infantry. Medium infantry being 3+ armor save, 4+ armor save, that kind of stuff. Light infantry I consider being 6 to 5+ armor saves. Now, that's spectacular. Like that, it's a great gun. I would argue probably the best vehicle in the whole 40k universe. I'm sure a lot of people would object to that opinion, but whatever. You can make a video response yourself if you feel that strongly about it. Okay, the next heavy support choice that I like are the sniper drones. These come with 3 sniper drones and a spotter. And for a measly 80 points, you get, like I said, 3 sniper drones, coming with rail rifles, which are Strength 6 AP 3 weapons. They don't actually classify as sniper weapons, which is bullcrap, but the rail rifle will have to do. It also pins, but it's a heavy weapon, so they won't be moving that much. However, they also come with a stealth field generator, which means that if your opponent targets your sniper drones, they have to roll 2d6 and multiply that number by 3 to see whether or not they can actually see them, or if they were just going crazy for a moment, thought they saw something in the distance, but they actually didn't. Which instantly increases their survivability. The spotter also comes equipped with a targeting array, which boosts your ballista skill up, and it also comes with a marker light. And we've already gone over the use of marker lights in part 1. Get them whenever you can. Wherever and whenever you can, I should say. Alright. But before I go on, they also have the same issue as the broadsides, that they're not very mobile. So you'll probably only get a couple turns use out of them. On the plus side, though, they are only 80 points. Alright, now to easily the rising star in my army, and also quickly becoming one of the my favorite units in my entire army is the Piranha. Yes. Look at that. That's such a cool model. Eh? So cool. Now, the Piranha, for a measly 60 points, you get a fast, open-topped skimmer, which means it can move 18 inches going full speed. It used to be 24, but the new rules nerfed that a little bit. Normally, it comes with a burst cannon and 2 gun drones, which is pretty good. You can get them up to squads of 5, which I wouldn't recommend, but I'd love to see that. Maybe like an Apocalypse game or something. However, how I use my Piranha is I pay the 5 extra points to give them a Fusion Blaster, which is a Strength 8, Strength 8 AP1 Melta weapon. Now, if you don't know what a Melta weapon does, is that when you're up to, well, for a Fusion Blaster, it would be 6 inches, but when you're up to half the distance of the total range of your weapon, you get to roll 2 dice for vehicle penetration instead of 1, which is really good for taking out vehicles. Now, I've used my Piranha to blow off the battle cannon of my friend's Baneblade at one point, and then it survived a hail of heavy bolter and las gun fire, only to have its fusion gun blown off, unfortunately, and then it was kind of useless for the rest of the game. But, however, this is a unit that you want to get, because when you pay the 5 extra points to get the Fusion Blaster, you now have a fast-moving anti-tank weapon, basically. The downside to that is that you have to be very choosy on what, very picky on what unit you use your Piranha against, because you only really get one shot at destroying the enemy vehicle, because like I said, it's an open-topped, fast vehicle, so the armor isn't very good. The front armor is 11, surprisingly enough, but the rest of it is 10. But yeah, like for only 65 points, I mean, you can take out a Land Raider, which is like 200 and something points, 260 maybe, and well worth the investment, and easily one of my favorite units in my entire army. Now, those are all the units I use in my army. A couple of the units I didn't mention would be the Skyray Missile Defense Ship, which comes with those secret, also useful secret missiles I mentioned in part 1. A pretty good unit. I might get one point, but not rushing to go get one. The other unit I missed was the Vespids, and I'm not even going to mention them because they are a useless unit. Never use them. Terrible unit. Never ever use them. Unless, well, okay, maybe a city fight, but even then, they suck. So now I'm just going to go quickly. I'm going to quickly go over a couple strategies, specifically when deploying your army. Now, because you'll be using all vehicles, and I told you why in part 1, what I tried to do is overload one flank with all of my vehicles. That means that my opponent I will probably get a couple turns where my opponent will be rearranging his units to try to get as many anti-tank weapons as he can to one side of the board. Now, by overloading one flank, that means your opponent won't have as many anti-tank weapons on that one flank, so you'll probably be able to pretty easily move up that flank and then just kind of go down his line. The other strategy that every Tau player should know is the Fish of Fury. Now, this is going to be the game-winning crutch that you'll be using all the time. Now, that's when you take your Fire Warrior loaded Devilfish up to the opponent, right in front of your opponent's squad. You unload all of your Fire Warriors behind it. Make sure they're within 12. Your Fire Warriors are within 12 inches of the enemy, and then you just unload on them. That's 24 shots from the Fire Warriors, plus all the armaments of the Devilfish. That is a game-winning move. I've used it before to wipe out giant orc mobs that have come after me. It's a great tactic, and that is, and yeah, you'll just want to be depending on that to win your games. Other tips, just basically how to use the units. You want to use your Fire Warriors to take out enemy infantry. You want to use Crisis Suits to take out enemy heavy infantry. You want to use your anti-vehicle, your railguns to take